If the city of Bengaluru is drowning today, it's largely because of the government and builders mafia, the nexus between both of them. And today we bring you an exclusive ground report that shows how it operates. We are outside the Bellandur wetlands, and what you see behind me is a 2,300 crore project that has been stopped by the NGT in 2016 and has asked the government to recover 130 crore rupees from the builders, monthly developers, and ensure that this building is demolished and the wetlands are recovered and resorted back to its original form. And the builders approached the Supreme Court in 2020, and the Supreme Court made it very clear that it can't go on, and upheld the NGT order. Despite that, nothing has happened. The government hasn't recovered the penalty money, neither has it demolished this building, neither has it put any efforts to recover and restore the wetlands here. The IAC said that this project, which is around 2,300 crore rupees one, was actually destroying the wetlands of Bellandur and also encroaching on the channel connecting Agara Lake to the Bellandur Lake. You can already see, because of the rain, the nature getting back to what it's actually belongs to it. You have water inundating this project site, and the government hasn't done anything. The BBMP says that it's the Bellandur and Vartur Lake overflowing which has led to a lot of flooding in Madhepura area. But on the other hand, you have the government that hasn't acted at all for over the last 5 years. 2016 is when the NGT order came. The Supreme Court in 2020 upheld that order. Still, no efforts to reclaim this wetland area, destroy this particular building and restore the wetland, neither any efforts to recover the penalty. And you've had the government blaming the previous government, and both BJP, Congress, JDS saying that they did not destroy the city of Bengaluru. But it's very clear that successive governments have failed, and that's the reason the city is here, and this is a prime example of it.
Well, the city of Bengaluru is suffering right now, and it's not because of some vague nexus that is often spoken about in the public discourse, but this is actual evidence that we are putting on record for you. This is the Bellandur lake that the municipal commissioner was talking about yesterday, that because the lake has reached its capacity, that's why you have localized flooding happening in some areas of Bengaluru, and the government is doing its bit. Here's the evidence. Despite an order from the National Green Tribunal affirmed by the Supreme Court of India, these commercial structures have not been taken down. There was also a penalty that was imposed by the concerned tribunal, affirmed by the courts of the country. However, despite those orders, neither the penalty has been collected nor these structures have been taken down. What happens when you create something on wetlands or in eco-sensitive areas? In this case, the Bellandur Lake, the capacity of the lake to retain water, to hold flood water each time there is a monsoon season, goes down. And this is actually how you build flooding in a city like Bengaluru. Harish is with us on the broadcast. Harish, we played out those ground reports. We are putting out these details that you're also sending for us. Let's talk about this nexus that exists. This particular builder, the SEZ in question, despite orders, has not been demolished. I'm sure you tried getting a reaction from the government before we played out that story. Any version, on record or off record, that the government officials are ready to talk about?
Well, the indication coming in from the government is that they've already asked the KIADB, that's the Industrial Area Development Body, to act on this. And as I mentioned, that it goes to the government, probably at a chief secretary or undersecretary level. This is returned to the KIADB, then the KIADB has to write to its officers. It's lost in these file movements. Does it take, all of them belong to the state government, all of them draw salary from the state government, and does it take 2.5 years for file movements to happen? All of them sit in Vidhan Saudha in the near vicinity. Why is it taking 2.5 years when such clear orders are present for the government to reclaim this land and also ensure that the wetland is restored and also the money is collected? The government always, remember, even this week we've had the Chief Minister continuously talking about being merciless whenever it comes to any sort of encroachment. He keeps on saying that we will mercilessly demolish. But well, you have a case here where you can mercilessly demolish and restore the wetland, and you haven't done it for the last 2.5 years, and people are bound to question your intent.
Yeah. There are also questions on the conduct and the commercial and business interests of various sitting ministers of this government, Harish, as you put it bluntly. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, we will not take names here, but we brought a ground report a few weeks back when one of the posh residential locality or a layout was completely inundated. And when we spoke to the residents, all they could tell us is that there is a stormwater drain that abruptly stops at their residential locality, because the channel or this Rajakalu, where the stormwater drain is supposed to go into a lake that's located within a tech park, and the tech park doesn't want a Rajakaluwe cutting its road and going to a lake, and that's the reason they have completely blocked it with their compound wall, and that this entire residential locality is completely flooded. And remember, this is people having good connections. When we asked why nothing is moved, he says, well, one of the joint venture holders of this particular tech park is a sitting minister in this government.
Okay, I want to